Of all the personal stories to emerge from the World Trade Center attacks, few could rival those told by one woman. Her tale struck so many dramatic notes, perhaps too many. Government Affairs reporter Melissa Russo explains.
Down on the site, you'll see that there's a ramp.
Tania Head's remarkable story made her an inspiring tour guide and role model. But Head has now been removed as president of a 2,000-member organization of Trade Center survivors, as a front-page New York Times report casts serious doubt on just about every aspect of her high-profile story.
She apparently played the part very well.
The man who's replaced Tania Head as president of the Survivors Network says she did have scars on her arms, and there was no reason not to believe her tale. Head claimed to be one of a small group of people at or above the point of impact who escaped from the South Tower and woke up 5 days later in a hospital. She claimed to have lost her fiancé in the other tower and to have returned a dying man's wedding ring to his grieving widow. But the Times was unable to substantiate anything about her story, not the hospital, nor the existence of a fiancé, widow, wedding ring, or place of employment.
It's disillusioning. For many people, she was very helpful. She was almost, as I said before, inspiration, almost a mentor to many other people who are struggling and building new lives, and they looked up at her as an exemplar. What's going through those people's minds right now, I can't imagine. So the pain that this is going to causing is enormous.
Zimbler says his biggest fear is that this embarrassing news will detract from the work their organization does with legitimate survivors. And while Rudy Giuliani's picture is shown on A1 of the Times taking one of Tania Head's tours of Ground Zero, he says he doesn't remember her.
I've had so many contacts with survivors, it'd be hard for me to isolate this one.
Now, nobody claims that Tania Head ever benefited financially from her story, and she tells the New York Times she did nothing illegal. She has, however, hired an attorney who did not return my phone calls today, and several calls that I made to phone numbers listed for Tania Head were also unanswered. Chuck?
We did a story about Wells Crowther, the young man in the red bandana who died on 9/11 after saving a number of people. Tania also insinuated herself into that story, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, and Wells Crowther's parents say that Tania met with them and told a very detailed and touching story of how he had saved her, even promising to send them a framed piece of her burned clothing from September 11th. And I talked to Wells Crowther's mother, Allison, tonight, Chuck, and she said she was just really saddened because she really liked Tania, and this doesn't take anything away from her son's story. He rescued other people that we're sure of.
Oh, not at all. No, it doesn't do that, but it certainly it causes them unnecessary pain.
But it's sort of a confusing and sad tale.
It is. Okay. Thank you, Melissa.